Hello. Well, I went on a bus trip today, and the bus ladies they act real funny, and it's sort of strange because there's one psychiatrist when I was up in Holly Springs, I met him like in the next little town over, and and he was saying that like certain like behavior and this and that, and how I'd be received and by certain people and he had them down pat about these women here. You know, they do have some issues, and they do like to project the hate they have for their hair, their color. A lot of it is the propaganda. Because I was watching Wild Wild West, and when it went into color, you realize that the main star has a lot of melon and him, and you could feel the difference that the direction of the show went to because it had a like if you're watching a show and it's sad you get teary eyed. If you watch a show and it's funny you giggle. If you watch a show and it's some other stress you feel that stress. And which I always feel like I don't usually take I try to avoid at all costs to be on the bus because they make you uncomfortable anyway. So there's like first of all like on the way coming back, like the bus driver was like being like this guy. I guess he's flirting with her, and she's just overwhelmed, bubbly, and all this stuff. And she had to wait to change buses with this other lady, and then the other lady she comes on, and he started flirting with the other lady. She's so over flirting, she's gonna let him go all the way the wrong direction and walk the wrong way and never catch the bus if he had went that way. Well, if he walked far enough, he would have eventually bumped into the bus he wanted. But I don't think he's gonna walk that 3 miles. And so like I yelled at him, "You're going the wrong way." I'm like, "You need to tell your friend, where to catch this 42 bus at," which was like he was going that way and he needed to go across the street. What the bus does, it goes down like 3 blocks, and then it goes down this other street for about 4 blocks, and then it goes back up the way he wants to go. But it's more than 4 blocks. I just, but it eventually goes back that way. If 3 miles down the road, it'll but he could catch her right across the street. And she was just smiling. And then I realized that I was, they would put on a show for me, like, she goes, "That's my car." She had to drive my car here, and like they told me what he had to do. That's what she was telling the guy. I was just looking back, and then so anyway, because like I noticed the bus drivers will uh, like act like they're gonna hit you or something in the neighborhood. So she sees this guy he's walking, and she's like, "Why? Look at that perfectly good sidewalk. Why is he not on the sidewalk?" And I'm like, "I got that." And so I go, I set up. I want to make sure you hear me. I'm like, "Cause the sidewalks are all crooked and wiggly waggy, and people have glass and stuff on it. And these are people trying to keep their yard looking nice, and and everything. And then you got but the sidewalks are all buckled. The street is smooth, and I'm like, you must not walk. Oh, I walk every day. How are you gonna say I don't walk? Instead of her saying, oh yes, I do. Once they get that defensive, how you gonna say I don't walk? Obviously, the same way you asked me how I'm gonna say, using language. That's how I was able to ask. That's what I wanted to using. But anyway, so I tried to explain to her you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, they're smaller than a car. They take up less room than a car. Why are you gonna fucking move over? You're not gonna move over if there's a parked car there. Because the parked car, you already got experience that you would if you hit the parked car, you could hurt yourself. You know what I'm saying? And then like the next thing is like they're a good Christian. You're a good Christian. But you know what I'm saying? And the guy was sitting next to me. I'm like, really? Both of those ladies is really getting their head turned up. Like they really gonna want to drive all day long. Okay, have this guy that's dependent on somebody else transportation like public transportation Then you gonna drive him around all night long? You know, I don't know. When I work, I be down. But I don't know. I be down. I be working at home, but I know like a lot of these people they bring their work home with them. I would. I don't care. I figured it should be there when I get there tomorrow. I can have some other stuff. But you know what I'm saying, if they got a problem like because we walk on the street, well the sidewalks are messed up. But see the main thing is with the broken glass is like people don't want to have an open container, you know, especially if it's empty in their car or whatever. So they throw it out of the car, you know. So like especially around here you have a bunch, you know, you got glass everywhere, you know, broken glass. I think some people just like anyway, and a lot of times they don't bust. Sometimes they get thrown out there, and some people toss in such a way they don't bust. But you don't want to throw it in somebody's yard, so you throw it on the sidewalk. But the sidewalks are buckled. The side, and just because she's talking about they got perfectly good sidewalks. Well, the streets are perfectly wide enough. And then she goes, well, he walked in the opposite way. I'm like, you're supposed to walk the opposite way. Well, show me in the law books. Go Google it. I'm like, I'm not Googling shit. And I'm like, the laws have sort of changed since the night. Aha, you said the laws changed. So they have like, how like a 6-year-old, I learned 2 things today in school, and you're teaching me a third thing right now, and that ain't what the teacher said, but she's like, everything is It don't matter. One way or the other, you get a at the end of, that way, like, she wins, like, I'm expecting her to say, I shit on myself, what you gonna do? I did you. I'll be like, yes, you did. But anyway, this is disgusting. They're just disgusting, and it's sad. And I really don't see where they can comprehend. Anyway, you know what I'm saying? If they, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, and she's gonna tell me she walks here. I walk 5 miles a day. I looked over the guy that I was sitting with. I'm like, cause like I can tell he walks. He's skinny. Like, well, it's not so much skinny. It's that she don't have no fucking leg development. You ever see like the policemen that ride the bicycles with the shorts on? You see how big their calves are? That's because they're working their legs. She's top heavy. She has like an ass that looks like she got 3 basketballs on one cheek and 3 basketballs on the other cheek. Perfect for sitting in those chairs. You could tell the body of somebody that sits all day long. Like you ever notice the policemen? They get like that little bubble ass and a big ass stomach. Basically they're sitting and they're cutting off circulation in a lot of ways down to the lower part. So like if you're prone to prostate problems or you're prone to kidneys problems, you might have some of that, and she got that look. And I'm not talking about she just, obese, but she's top heavy. She don't got no, and I can even tell through the pants that she don't got the legs because like the part where the calf does, because I'm, that's the only problem I have, and I got compared to some people, I got small calves, but the pants are not gonna be flopping back there because it gets a little tight. But anyway, so she was getting great joy out of thinking she's superior because you gotta really have a car in Memphis. They don't tore up nature so bad. But like I'm gonna go to a meeting tomorrow. Their whole block association, the whole thing is like the pick on me. It seemed like, but they want to buy out the flood ravaged homes. My house is on a fucking hill, so it never did get flood ravaged. I had the police here screaming at me, evacuate, evacuate. Like, I couldn't understand why they wanted me to evacuate. I'm like, you don't see, the bitch is standing on fucking dry land, looking, the water stopped just like, I have a stop sign about 25 feet before the stop sign, the water stopped because it just couldn't, water just, and this is where the police really, this is where this one little black bitch that spit on me, this police one, where she decided to hate me. Because I just tell a simple fact, water don't go uphill. She's like, but you ain't worried? I'm like, no, because water don't run uphill. It just ain't gonna, just doesn't. Simple physics, elementary, my dear. You should have learned that in kindergarten. You play with water, with the little kitchen thing. You ever tried? water. You know what I'm saying? You pour water down a raft. You ain't never seen nobody try to pour the water up a raft. So this is something that she should have learned probably before 7. Fuck. Anyway, and then the stock market dropped. I was looking at that. I was paying attention to that. I was telling my sister that I think that it's gonna um go down to 10,000. She, she's like, oh no, that'll be a recession. No, we're still in a recession, at least in my home. It'll be a depression, but it also will be a correction. So, but anyway, and then I don't know. I still think there's some there's always war going because we got a perpetual war ever since I'll say 550 for the white for the Caucasian race because actually for the people of Melon that were native to the Americans, the North and South, because there was actually people here before the white people came from Europe invaded it. And if you notice, once they came here, they, then you had trains, you had electricity, you had telephones. All this stuff was not invented by the white person, and that's why black people were so important because we had such great women and such great mothers, and they were so good with their children and teaching their kids stuff so they could survive, you know, in the society they're in. And I see that with that woman in the bus driver. She's not all about sacrificing her wants and her childish needs so that she could have a prosper and healthy child. She's too busy trying to show off that she has stuff, and I'm look all I could look at her and I'm like, you know, uh, all I see is a good kind of diabetes. God forbid, a good candidate for diabetes. The lack of the lower circulation from the sitting all day long, which you know what I'm saying, causing because the lower problems probably around the groin area, and maybe the kidneys and liver. That's all I see. Where where she wants to, you know, and yes, if you think I'm more superior than you, I can't argue with you guys because there's too many of you. Oh well, you talk this way, you walk this way. It's not that I think that I'm white. That's not what you see. It's just that what you see is like I don't really give a fuck about you because she didn't have the proper way of introducing herself to me in such a way that I give a fuck, which trying to bully and harass. But anyway, so we do have a major problem in our community. I don't know. I don't see where there's going to be any changes because the changes would have to really be where we don't jeopardize women because they have have learned to survive in such a hostile environment towards people of color and women and I don't know. That bitch call herself a Christian, but she thinking about hitting somebody because they walking towards her in the gutter. Actually, they're not really on the street. And they weren't on the sidewalk. They were like in that little part right there. And if you could miss a car, then you should be able to miss a person. Just the way her whole attitude and she really got pissed off because I'm not gonna agree with anything that she had to say. What you talking about? You all pissed off because you worried about this person way over here walking, and you trying to show off how you could drive, that car you had and everything, but you think it's because you could that's part of your oh I'm superior, I got a car and I'm better than you because I got a fucking job. Everybody in America got to have a fucking job, and everybody really needs to have a car here because you got good old Christians like her, getting flirted by some STD looking motherfucker. He hurry up and need to get to that clinic he trying to get that shit straight looking bitch. But so bad that she thinks she'd have the right. We got 3 motherfuckers I know of, and one motherfucker right up here that got hit by a car. He was putting gas in his car, and they T-boned him. They came and hit him straight on, broke all his bones, and right now he's back in the hospital because they had to put a defibrillator because he had like uh, broken ribs that punctured lungs and did some the heart got messed up, broke every bone in his legs, hip, uh, just terrible. Because how dare somebody, when they got all this road, how dare this person be over here on the side of the goddamn road putting gas in, right where it ended, where so this person couldn't make a left or a right because there's this person. It aggravates them. It aggravated her that this person's walking in the street. They got a perfectly good sidewalk. No, bitch, you have not walked, because then you would know the sidewalks are not perfectly good. And the first time your top heavy falls over and you try to catch yourself with your hands, and you get all those little tiny little cuts in your fucking hand, and you try to drive the next day, and this is swollen here with a little tiny cut, then you would know that that's why people walk on the street. You know what I'm saying? And there's no reason just because somebody's doing something different than what you think you would do if you ever in your life would get your fat ass up and walk. Bitch, it might do you some good. But don't, you know what I'm saying? Here she goes, she goes with one screen, like just swimming over this guy, getting her panties all wet. And I'm feeling a little humiliated for the women's race because he was pretty. His whole conversation was pretty fucked up. And if all they come out of their mouth is sexual, they might be a pervert. And I wouldn't have children. That, that's just one guy. It's funny because like this morning, before I left, to I walked to one store, it was closed, so I went back. In the Arab store, they got this lady in there who threw grape juice on me, so I go in there and they're like, hee, and I'm like, oh, okay, so you got the bitch in here that threw grape juice on. And the bitch ain't gonna do nothing but try to sneak over. She ain't gonna have like just come straight up to me and square off. You know what I'm saying? She ain't gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? Because she thinks I'm having, or she thinks, no, let me put it this way. He wants to have sex with me, so she thinks I give a fuck about what he wants. I got news for you. Does he give a fuck about what I want? No. Can I give a fuck about what somebody else wants? They don't give a fuck about what I want? No. I don't care. He's like, I've been told that's all men want is sex. Like that's the only thing about every 21 seconds. So I don't have time to worry about, you know. But anyway, there's this one guy. He has a Cadillac, and he lives like in a disgusting house. But anyway, and he's straight up pervert, just disgusting pervert. So he yells at me and leans his head to make sure he sees me and does a big wave, like because I had been by that, up I see him up by his house, but I was walking to the other store. So once I went to the other store, I'm like, I'm not going to the Arabs. I'll wait and I'll walk back because we only have one black-owned store left in the neighborhood, Caldwell, and it's just like my dentist that I went to, he's black too. I hope he can put up with me for a little while longer until I get all my money. See, I don't have my glasses, but well, his name is it's Anthony B. Price, not Vincent Price. He's over there on Shelby Drive, and so I got it. It's a lot of money. So and I noticed that one lady I don't think all she did was like, oh, you're not gonna be able to afford it. I hate that when they think, oh, you know, you got to get a car. You can afford a car, but you can't. No, I can't afford it, and I spend twice as much money a month than what I have coming in. I gotta pay. I gotta keep the lights on. Anyway, I go to the meeting today, and there's only 3 people living on this street, so I don't know who they think they're gonna buy out. They would that policeman that's right next to there. He got a hard on for me, but this is not. This is his. This. He don't belong there. He's the guy that lost the property there because they got some law where they where selling drugs and doing all this stuff They basically got a lot of the property around here that the city owns, and I guess they talking about they want to do a buyout. What they're gonna do is because we're over here by the river, and they got like if you're on the river, you have casino with the Indian rights. So probably what they're gonna do is run out. They've been trying to do this because the railroad was supposed to buy it out and put like white folks here because you got darker people like that to be like, oh, she thinks you white. They're like, there used to be white people there passing, and they passed on the fuck out of this neighborhood too. Because the most racist ass motherfuckers you ever want to see. But anyway, let me get off. So we'll see how the meeting goes tomorrow. Whatever it is, um, this right here is family land, so they're not into they're not into worrying about their child tomorrow making it better tomorrow. They're worried about hair extensions, you know, competing against other women for some lame ass man. And I guess the men don't have to be good looking. He had his little hat on, looked like he was dressed appropriate, a little bit like well, not too pro. A little bit like a little like 1980 in there. So not impressed. But anyway, I'm a strong believer in once a year just you got to get something. Like like not to really keep up with the date. It's just that um to keep up with your body change. Then they stretch. Never mind. I'm getting. But anyway, so I don't know, but I noticed one thing. I'll never get along with the women here because um we you don't want to do more harm than good. It's and like I remember my sister was here and she cleaned up and she looked over me and she goes, "Remember, you leave it better than what you found." And I was thinking, oh well, I've been in Memphis way too fucking long because they don't have that same type of philosophy. You know, you know what I'm saying? They leave things worse, and it's like being around some crazy white folks that I grew up with. They like to kill everything. They just hate nature in a way. At the same time, we talk about they want to preserve it, but they want to, you gotta get rid of every animal within 150 feet, and then then they be all depressed. Oh, the animals are going extinct. Let's get some bird feed, and I'll go get me a pet frog. Anyway, yeah, it's futile.